So hello and welcome to Dommy Tries This. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is from Godiva Chocolates, I believe, and I think my husband got this for me. It has a little berry on it and says Godiva. Today's tea is the Sips by for December tea Paromi full leaf tea called Sleep With Me. This one has chamomile, lemon balm, honeybush, apple, cinnamon, linden leaves, apricot, and quince. And it smells amazing. It really smells really nice. And it's one of those larger tea temples that they call them. Let's give this a taste and see if we like it. It's really hot. Just my tea should be. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yes, Rogue, that's nice. It's very fruity. It's very good. My cat's talking to me. You do get the fruit, the apple, and the other fruit flavors, the apricot, and I'm not getting a lot of the cinnamon, but getting a touch of the lemon. It's really nice. That is a really nice tea. That's good. Alrighty, so first a couple of things. I am still waiting on, hopefully it'll be here by the time I post this, but I am waiting on an order from ColourPop. I wanted to do putting together a Christmas palette with you guys. It may end up at this point, may not being the operative word, actually. It'll probably be after Christmas. Nothing I can't really do about it. They haven't even shipped yet. I've had people I've ordered from after them who have already shipped. My curl box is running late, so you may not see that until the beginning of January. I'm not sure yet. I'm really hoping it's going to be here tomorrow or the next day so I can get that filmed and get it up early, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Right now, shipments are very, very late because of the holiday season, and yeah, it's just kind of a mess. So I watch Christina Chang. I've mentioned her before, and she just did a video on her channel resolutions. Now, I don't necessarily do resolutions. To me, resolutions are like you do them or you don't. There's no gradient. They're pretty set in stone. So you either succeed or fail at them. You don't actually get any kind of, well, I didn't make it to that, but I got on the way kind of thing. So I don't necessarily make resolutions. I do make goals for my new year, and I do have quite a few that I'm thinking about for next year, especially considering we finally have a few things settled down so that I can actually start tackling some of my health plans and things like that, and my scheduling and other things like that. So I'm starting to think about those, but I probably won't come up with any final things until closer to January. However, for the channel, I have thought of a few things, and they're more like goals, kind of resolutions, because for some of them, they're going to be easier to do than others. So I thought I'd go ahead and share that with you along the lines of Christine. So thank you, Christina, for the idea. I was kind of getting a little frantic about this month with everything running late. So let's focus on what we're going to be doing or trying to do for next year for Dommy Tries This. The first thing I've already mentioned, and that is more focus on indie brands. There are a ton of tiny little indie brands we never hear of. You can usually find them all over Instagram. There is a couple of different Instagram accounts that focus primarily on indie brands as for their releases and things. But there's, just dozens and dozens and dozens of these teeny tiny little independent brands that we never hear about, that aren't big enough to get the kind of attention that, say, Maybelline gets, or Urban Decay, who reach out to larger YouTubers. So since they're so tiny and I'm so tiny, I thought that it would be kind of neat to focus on them and see if some of us can kind of grow together. Next, with a few exceptions, I want to start buying more drugstore products and drugstore priced products. For some of the higher end things, that's going to mean, if there's some higher end things that I want to get, and there are a few on my list that I'm still going to be purchasing. But for some of them, or a lot of them, or as many as possible, that means trying to get them on sale or with coupons, or if they don't come in one of the boxes that I have, I won't get them. So foundations, a lot of the face products, I've actually found some reasonable drugstore skincare products and things like that. For the most part, I'm going to try to look into drugstore brands to keep costs down. I've mentioned several times that the channel has been a bit more expensive than planned, and our budget is in a bit of a flux right now, and it's going to be tightening up a little bit more come March. So I really want to start looking at keeping the prices down. Now, that said, there are a few things that I'm still going to buy more high end, and a lot of that has to do with having experience with some of the products already and knowing what works for me and my face. For example, I will still be buying my Kryolan eyeshadow primer. This is actually going on over a year now that I've had this, close to, I'm going to say about 15 months, so it's pretty close to a year and a half, not quite, but there's still quite a bit in here, but this is $20 a tube. This works really well on my eyes. I won't switch this out because of the issues that I have with my eyes. The same thing with for a lot of eyeshadow palettes. Drugstore, I will try drugstore eyeshadow palettes, but I have found that most of them just evaporate on my eyes, even with the process I go through to try to help to get them stay. I have found that just most of them just can't stand up to it. A lot of high-end brands can't stand up to my eyes. So those two things are definitely two things that I will not be going to drugstore for, is like the primer and the eyeshadow stuff. There's one, maybe two skincare products that I will probably continue to buy, even though they're still high end. So there's a few things in there that are probably going to stay high end, but for the most part, if I actually purchase something that doesn't come to me in a box, like my BoxyCharm or my Ipsy, or the one that I hope to start round robining again in the next couple of months, then if I need to buy it, I'm going to check into the drugstore price stuff to see if I can find stuff that way. Part of what I'm also going to try to do is buy less, use more. Some of this is part of that reverse rouge, where I'm trying to use up at least $1,000 worth of product over the next year. The thing that's going to be making it a little more difficult is I'm not doing project pans. I've discovered this past year I am not very good at project pans. I just like more freedom in being able to choose what I play around with during when I'm using my makeup. I don't like to feel like, well, I really need to use this because I'm trying to pan it. I want to be able to go, well, yeah, okay, I'm going to use this instead. Project pans just don't work for me. They're too restrictive in my view. And while I realize that, you use products other than what you've placed in your project pan, the idea is to focus solely on your project pan, or as much on your project pan as possible. That does make the reverse rouge challenge a bit more challenging, because at least with the project pans, you are focusing on getting rid of particular products. I will say though, I have actually kind of started with the mentality of the reverse rouge, and as much as I have a few other skincare things that I want to use or try, I have been very focused on some of them that are getting down a little bit. So the reverse rouge will have almost a project pan kind of effect to some degree. I will just have a little bit more freedom with it. I also am going to focus on the stuff that I already own more. So that's going to play into using more and buying less. So I'm noticed lately for a lot of the palettes and things that when I look at them, I'm starting to look at the colors and go, do I own those colors? Well, if I own the colors, then I don't need the palette. I already have it somewhere. So that is helping with the buy less, use more, and using more of my own stuff, and knowing that I have those colors somewhere in my own stuff is already helping me to reevaluate some of the things that I'm purchasing. So yes, we're going to focus on buying less, hopefully a lot less, and using more. I'm also going to continue to focus on more inclusive brands, and that includes some of the indie brands, because I have already checked out a couple of indie brands that have a foundation and concealers out, and they have 12 shades of foundation. No, that's not going to be enough. I am not expecting them to have 40 shades, but for indie brands, it would be nice to see at least 24 to 30 shades of foundation and at least, 7 to 10 shades of concealer. Something that takes in all skin tones. If I'm seeing predominantly light or colors or medium colors in a foundation, it's not a brand that I'm going to be supporting much, especially if they only have one foundation. Places like CoverGirl have more than one foundation for different things, and even CoverGirl has come out with a 40 shade foundation. So I understand CoverGirl is much bigger and not a little indie brand that's trying to keep an eye on the bottom line. But the point is, if you're going to, I'm going to focus on the more inclusive brands, and if they've only got a couple of shades in one foundation, I don't find that inclusive, and I probably would not shop there. I won't support that. I am looking at, we've already got the Bright Eye series, which I do a tutorial on, and then we have the Whole and Healthy Wednesday, which I don't necessarily do a tutorial on, but I do a get ready with me. I'm still going to keep those. And in fact, even though the Whole and Healthy Wednesdays are not getting the kind of views that I thought that they would, I'm going to keep them up through the year. So they are going to be they're going to be a continuous part of the channel for as long as I can come up with content for them. And I will continue to do those get ready with me's and tutorials, but I'm also thinking about doing a 1 palette and a 2 or 3 look tutorial series. I've been talking about expanding from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday uploads to at least 4 days. So I need to come up with 1 more day of filming to do that and figure out where I'm going to put it. Probably on a Saturday or a Sunday, because I want to keep my Wednesday. I'm going to have to think about it. But I think using some of my older palettes, doing 2 or 3 looks, maybe doing one of the looks in the Whole and Healthy Wednesday and the other 2 separate from that, we can come up with 1 tutorial or get ready with me a week. And you can see the versatility of several of the palettes that I own. So I'm thinking about doing more of those if I can figure out how to fit them in. The other things I want to do right now is I want to do less stress over numbers. I spent this last year really trying to build to 1,000 subscribers. And I don't know, you guys are great. You all have been very supportive, and I appreciate that greatly. But because I haven't been able to grow as quickly as I'd hoped, it has made me question the channel a little bit. And I want to go back to doing this for the reasons I wanted to do it. Now, one of the reasons you have to understand, one of the reasons I wanted to grow to 1,000 is because as a YouTuber, there's a lot of things that you don't get until you have 1,000 subscribers. You don't get monetized. You cannot get free product from certain programs unless you have 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube. There is a certain link thing for YouTubers to earn a little extra money on sales. You can't get that until you have 1,000 subscribers. So there's a lot of things that I thought that if I got to 1,000 subscribers would at least help with the cost. But since that's not happening, And I'm trying to go back to looking more at using what I have and buying less and all of that. I'm going to try to get back to just enjoying the channel and not stressing the numbers so much. The idea is that, you know, hopefully eventually I will get to 1,000 subscribers. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. I'm a tiny channel. I don't get a lot of publication on other channels or shout outs on other channels. So it's a lot harder for me to get the attention, to get the subscribers. And on top of that, I'm an older woman and a lot of people cannot relate to me. My personality isn't, hi, I'm Domi and we're going to go do this. I'm not that bright, bouncy person that a lot of YouTubers are. I'm not loud. And I know a lot of the subscribers, most of the subscribers I have, appreciate that. But it does make a difference on the subscriber count. And I don't want to change. I don't want to be someone different to get the subscribers. So the best way for me to do that is to focus less on those numbers and just enjoy my channel. So 2 more items. That means we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have a total of 8. And I'm sure I'll think of more next year. Because, you know, these things are constantly changing and constantly in flux. And YouTube changes its programs and different programs get started. And so things change. But for right now, you know, we'll see if we develop and grow more goals next year. The next thing I want to do is indirectly related to the channel, but directly related to one of the goals in the channel, and that is trying to buy less. One of the things that makes it hard to buy less is being constantly inundated with the advertising, not just from your mailbox, but from Instagram, from other YouTube channels, from Facebook, from, you know, just all over TV, all over the places, all this advertising. And some of that I can't control. I still need to try to keep up on top of what's going on in the makeup industry, or I'll come out and go, I've got something new. And people will tell me, well, that's been out for 6 months. No, I've got to pay attention to some of those things. But I can help limit that some. So one of the things that I'm going to do is clear my inbox of makeup newsletters and ads. I have accounts all over the place. And some of those were to try products. Some of those were because it was from companies I liked. I like CoverGirl, Milani. I like those companies. But I can't tell you how many ads and newsletters and new sales and new launches come into my inbox every day. I am not a big enough channel for all of this stuff. I'm telling you guys, just tens and tens and tens a day. I would have to sit down and count it. It's at least 40 or 50 emails a day. And not all of them are from different companies. It's not 40 or 50 different companies. There are companies that will send me 2 or 3 emails a day. So to reduce that, I am going to take myself off of all of those newsletters. That's going to, with a few exceptions. There's some places where I really kind of need to know about the sales. My Shea Moisture hair care stuff is on the expensive side. I need to know when Shea Moisture is having a sale so that I can purchase and not spend $12 on my shampoo or conditioner or whatever. So I need to keep that up. But for most of these companies, especially the cosmetic companies, I don't need all that. I don't need 3 reminders that Sephora has a rouge sale going on or whatever, or I can get $20 off. I don't need 2 reminders that Urban Decay has this new set out. And oh, by the way, you can get this stuff on sale too. I just don't need all that. And it makes it harder to not want things if you're constantly inundated with things that you like. It would be like me walking into a store that had nothing but coffee mugs and having to walk out with nothing. That's very hard to do because I love coffee mugs. I collect them. I collect them. I enjoy them. So having this stuff constantly come into my inbox is very similar to that. It's very, there's just so many things that I would love to buy if I had the money. I don't need the reminder that I can't buy it, and I don't need the constant lusting after it. Now, for those of you that are part of the domytriesthis Facebook group, and if you're not, click the link down below and go and join us. I will still be posting wish list type items, things that I would really love to buy, but I'm just going to try to make sure that it's not 15 different things in 1 month or anything like that. I'm trying to reduce that overload and that thing that makes you want to buy more. Finally, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this one at all. It is a goal. And actually, it's more of a resolution because it's either you will be able to do this or you won't. And that is, I would like to improve, get a better camera and get an actual tripod for my camera. Not just for doing what I'm doing now, but I'd like to bring you guys into my kitchen. Part of my description says that I'm a baker. I would love to show you my baking, my recipes and things like that. And I cannot do that with my current setup. A tripod would make the gardening stuff just a little bit easier. A better camera would make the quality of my videos better. So things like that. And not only that, I could use the camera for other things. You know, we've got family stuff that goes on I'd like to take pictures of. Stop by my Facebook and you'll have seen my cat today, one of our cats today. I take pictures of stuff all the time. So a better camera would be really nice. I am going to have to research it because it needs to be simple. If it has software with it, the software needs to be easy to get, to understand. I use the iMovie, I think, to edit. I don't do anything fancy. You all know that. I'm not trying to go suddenly pro with a big, beautiful backdrop and lots of big lights and stuff like that. I want to improve the quality a little bit. I want to make it easier for me to do other things on the channel, to expand beyond makeup and show you other things in my life that I'm doing. You know, one of these days, who knows, maybe I'd get brave and show you something of a workout. Maybe. But for any of the other things that I would like to bring into the channel, I need a better camera. And at the very least, I need a tripod for my phone or for said camera. Let me know if you'd be interested in those baking videos. Love to bake, and lately I've been finding it hard to be motivated to do so. Having a baking video at least once a month probably would help with that because it's been very, very difficult. So those are my resolutions or goals for 2019 for the channel. We're going to look at indie. We're going to still stay inclusive. For things that aren't indie, we're going to try to stick with mostly drugstore, except for a few things that work better for my skin and my face and that kind of thing. We're going to buy less and use more of our old stuff. We're going to try to expand our GRWMs, our Get Ready With Me's, and tutorials to do a one palette, 2 to 3 looks with it. Not going to stress the numbers. I want to get back to just enjoying the channel and not worrying about the numbers. Get rid of all the garbage that's making me want to buy more, and then hopefully maybe get a camera and a tripod that'll get me better quality and allow me to bring you a more varied content. What do you think of all of those? Do you think that those are reasonable and good resolutions for next year? What would you like to see on the channel? What would you like to see be a goal for the channel? I'd love to hear from you about that, because this isn't just me. It is just me, but it isn't just me. I'm giving you guys the content, but I like it to be a conversation. As most of you know who are on my channel, if at the very least, I try to at least indicate that I saw comments. I try to respond to comments. I love having it be more of a conversation between us. So I love hearing from you when I can. I do ask questions on the channel, and I do ask questions in the Facebook group, and often I don't get very much response. So I'd really love to hear from you guys about what you would like to see on the channel, what you would like to hear about, and what you think some of the goals for next year should be. That's it for today. Trying to keep it short and sweet, and it wasn't that short, but hopefully it was sweet. And I hope you like what you've seen and that you will subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you do subscribe, please do hit the notification bell so you know the next time I upload. And if you're part of the notification squad, oh yes indeed, we are still losing our bells. So check yours to make sure that it's still rung to get your notifications. And if you don't subscribe, well, it'll make me sad, but we do hope that you'll come by again because you're always welcome. And if you do come by again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Oh man, that is getting, it's, now I'm getting the cinnamon. Oh man, that's nice. Oh, yes, that's very, very good. You all have a great day.